welcome back to my channel. I am so excited you're here. If you're new, please hit the subscribe button. I'd love to have you. I'm Bethany. I'm an opera singer who has fallen for a lot of scams, and I'm here to spill the tea on all of them so you don't fall for them too. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, please hit subscribe. I'd be so excited to have you as part of our little community here, which is really positive and uplifting, and that's amazing. And maybe one of the benefits to being a smaller channel, but I feel like I found my people. So I'm really excited today. I have some more MLM fails, some more mean girls of MLM, and people that I know personally. And I have some of their lives, some of their stories and reels talking about their newest scam ventures. So let me move to the side and let's just get going. First up, we have Erin Hopkins. We've seen her before, and we're just gonna react to something she shared on her stories that a few of you sent to me, because she was a top body hun for a long time, and then she moved to Make Wellness literally the day after Beachbody said that they were going affiliate. So she did not research anything or attempt to do like her own business at all. She literally just went straight over to Make Wellness because she needed to have that downline. So we all know priorities.
I don't even know where to begin with this. What happened? First of all, last night, end of month push, was one of the most epic things I've ever witnessed. And I've witnessed a lot of really cool things in this business. Last night was epic. What happened was insane.
Month push. Every MLM has certain, even if they say they don't have quotas, they have certain benchmarks that they want you to hit every month so that you can either be like in Beachbody, it was Success Club. So you can like hit Success Club and you're going for this thing and it actually doesn't mean anything. They used to give you like little trinkets, and they would, every 3 months you would get a prize for being in Success Club, and it would get slightly more expensive, and your upline would give you little random gifts, like little cheap stuff. And ultimately it's meaningless because it doesn't, ideally it's supposed to like build momentum towards building your business. If you hit these certain benchmarks, then they say, oh, you're gonna grow. But the thing about MLM is it's unsustainable. So people are falling off all the time, and it actually doesn't build any momentum for you. It just keeps your upline at their rank. So it made it hard to enjoy real life because I was nervous until I hit Success Club every month. So if it started to get towards the end of the month and I hadn't hit it yet, I wouldn't, friends would invite me out and I'd be like, I couldn't go out and enjoy myself if I hadn't hit Success Club yet, which is so messed up, but that's what it is. So, and your upline, her, will push, be like, you have to get this, and it's all meaningless, but you think you have to get it. It's like this urgency inside you, like you have to achieve this or else like your whole business is gonna fall apart. And since it's constantly on the verge of all falling apart, that part is true. So you feel like this will be the thing that'll build momentum for you and get you to where that upline is, but it really just makes more money for them. So keep that in mind. When I went to Thailand, I was still in Beachbody, and Thailand was December 1st through the 14th. That's when I was in Thailand. So it was the first half of December, and then you get home and you're going into like the Christmas holidays and stuff. And I remember like being on, at breakfast in the morning, like sitting next to this beautiful beach and like this beautiful ocean, and I'm on Instagram DMing people trying to sell Beachbody stuff to people. I couldn't just sit and eat my breakfast and enjoy the fact that I was in Thailand. Like, because there were 4 Beachbody coaches and we were all sitting at the same table, we were all DMing people. We were feeding each other's obsession with this.
And what has happened this month with this team, I've never seen anything like this before. I had never seen anything like this before. First of all, my team.
She can't be trusted because she said the same things about Beachbody so many times. And if Beachbody hadn't gone affiliate, she wouldn't even be in Make Wellness because you can't be in more than one MLM. A lot of MLMs have rules that you can't participate in another one. Or if you do, you can only be like a discount member, or you can, Beachbody's rule was that you can be in as a discount member, you can even sell stuff for another MLM, but you can't recruit people into that MLM. Like you can only build a team with Beachbody or else you'll get your account terminated. And my question now, being out of it, is, isn't that a scarcity mindset? If there's enough for everybody, why can't we build teams at multiple organizations? Oh wait, it's not, because there actually aren't enough people for everybody. And you have to be protective of the people in your organization so they don't leave and the whole thing crumbles.
Did $911,000 of sales. This is not the company. This is my team in 1 month did $911,000 in sales.
Okay, I'm gonna stop her there because I have several questions. Number one, how many people are on your team? Number two, how many of them came over from Beachbody? A lot of them. Number three, how much did each person make compared to how much you made, Erin? Because every level that gets below you, they make less and less and less until the people at the bottom are just making that commission. Whereas you're making money off of all $911,000. Now, I work at an office that has a sales division, and when they make a sale, they get the majority of the commission, and like a little bit goes to the boss. That's how it's supposed to work. If you're a salesperson, you get the thing, you get the commission, and the rest of it just goes towards the cost of the product. So MLMs have it inverted. They have it upside down. But let's keep going. Oh, I had more questions for her. Okay. How many of these sales were to outside customers who are not a Make Wellness rep at all? And I'm going to call them Make Wellness reps. I think Make Wellness calls them affiliates. I'm not going to use that term because they're not affiliates. This is an MLM. An affiliate has a meaning. Words mean things. You can't just say someone's an affiliate and then affiliate has a definition. That's not what Make Wellness is. It's like, yeah, words have meaning. Like I have a cat. I don't have a dog. A dog is a different type of animal. I have a cat and she's a long-haired cat. I can't just look at her and show you guys a video of her and say, I have a short-haired Chihuahua, because you would all look at me like you're crazy. You have a long-haired cat. You do not have affiliates in Make Wellness. You have MLM participants. Even if they're just selling the product as an affiliate, because they are on your team and because of the structure, that's going to contribute to your volume and your bonuses and your paycheck. So they are not affiliates. They are MLM reps, even if they have no one under them. Let's just be clear. So how much of that $911,000 went to actual people who have never registered with Make Wellness, do not sell Make Wellness, do not get Make Wellness at a discount? Give me those numbers, because you're making it sound like they had this big boom in sales and all of this money was generated to customers. But that's not the case in most MLMs, and I'm betting that's not the case here. Much of that was them not only buying stuff for themselves, but also like forcing it on their friends and family, or even buying stuff and giving it to their friends and family, and buying stuff to give out as samples. Like all of this stuff happens in MLMs too. And I, at the end of the month, have had a situation where now Beachbody is done, so I don't think I can get in trouble, but I have literally had friends buy stuff and then I've Venmo'd them so we could get around the like I can't use my credit card. It's busted for bonus buying, but I'd be like, will you please buy a challenge pack so I can hit Success Club and I will pay you back for it. Like I've done that. This is how reps lose money on these things. So I wouldn't be too proud of that $911,000 when a lot of the people, to contribute to that number, they're losing money.
That's almost $1 million in sales.
And who benefits from that? Erin. Everyone else is losing.
I have so many people to celebrate today.
Okay, I cut it off because she's obviously at the top of her pyramid. And what she does next is she does a bunch of love bombing. So she does a bunch of recognition where she tags the person and she talks about how amazing they are and how they're such a badass, like badass mama, whatever. Like it's gross. But when you're in it and someone above you, you know, shouts you out on their Instagram story or even in the team page, it feels so like the love bombing works. Hopefully some of these people will start to realize that it means nothing if she's proud of you. She's only proud of you because you're making her money. And the second you drop in rank, which drops her rank because it's a house of cards, or you stop hitting those numbers, or you leave, even if you leave and you don't say anything about it, you just stay silent, you don't speak out like I'm doing, she won't talk to you. She won't give a F about you. Like, she does not care about you as a person aside from the money that you are making her. So she will sing your praises till the cows come home as long as you're contributing to her paycheck. But the second you stop, you're done. She doesn't care. She doesn't care about you. She hasn't talked to me. She thought I was so cool when she first joined Beachbody. And then the second she passed me by in rank, she never felt the need to talk to me again. That was before I even left. Like, I was still working very hard. I was still at like a high rank for Beachbody that very few people achieve. And I was not one of the, I was not making, I've already told you guys how much I made with Beachbody. Like, it was not a lot. It was less than the median income in Chicago before expenses. So but I was still, that was one of like the top ranks that like very few people achieve if you looked at the income disclosure statement. So she still was too good for me. Because they all believe in that manifestation stuff too, where it's like, you are like the people you surround yourself with. So just had to do a little like reflection on Erin because she's acting like, oh my gosh, like, you guys, this is so crazy. She's trying to give you FOMO. She's trying to love bomb her team. She's being really deceptive and acting like this collective collaborated together and they pushed together and it was this like fun community thing when they probably felt so much pressure. They probably had to buy stuff themselves and this number is deceptive and she's the only one benefiting. So to add it all up there, let's move on to our next one. This next one is a little bit personal because this was my direct upline. And all these people are public figures, so I don't blur their faces. You can see their Instagram handles. Please don't harass them. That's not what this is about. This is just me pointing out the deceptive tactics and the personality that they show publicly, how that is different from who they are in private. And in general, MLMs are predatory. These women are predators. These are at the top of MLMs. So Meredith moved from Body to Hugh and Grace, and she was a super fan of Body. Like, she'd been doing exclusively Body programs for, I don't know, since like 2012, 2013, something in there. And so Erin was in her downline, who we just saw. Moira, who we're going to see next, was in her downline, and now they've gone to make wellness. So she's at Hugh and Grace, and she has lost a power leg of her business because Moira had that whole crew of Southeast, I don't want to I don't even want to say the name of the city, even if they say it publicly on their Instagram. I just don't want to get accused of doxing, but like they all live in a very wealthy coastal city. And they all were rich before they started Beachbody, and they're very cliquey. So they were all on one of Meredith's legs, and then she had like a power leg from Amy. And so now she's like having to start from scratch. I don't know how much of her downline, because Moira's team was such a huge part of her downline. I don't know. Like, I don't know how she's doing. And you can't trust anything that they post. Like, she's done some shout outs on her Facebook page and recognition for people who are climbing the ranks or hitting certain volume amounts or whatever. But all of these ranks are meaningless. As I know from being in Beachbody, even when I hit Diamond, which was like a big deal, I was not making very much money. I was not making a full-time income. I didn't make a full-time income for several years, and even that was like 30, 40K a year. And that was as a star diamond. So these ranks mean nothing. Like, and the amount of people hitting these ranks doesn't mean that they have really achieved anything, and they could be losing money, and Meredith could be trying to make herself look better. Anyway, this is me speculating. This is all speculation, but I am a little curious as to how things really are behind the scenes, because she seems so cheery and so excited, and that's because she's trying to recruit people. But I suspect, this is totally my opinion, this is totally conjecture, I suspect she's taken a huge financial hit because she hasn't been able to get that huge power leg to come with her to Hugh and Grace. But maybe she got like the rest of her downline too. I don't know. Let's see.
Happy Saturday. I hope you're having an amazing entry into your weekend. I'm so excited to share this. I have mentioned a bit about the company that I'm partnered with, Hugh and Grace. I've shared a bit about the product line. I've shared a little bit about some of the rewards that I've already had an opportunity to tap into, trips and that sort of thing that I'm earning. We actually have our leadership event.
Let me say something about trips before we continue. Earning trips. I know some places, every place does it differently. How Beachbody did it, you had to put down a $300 deposit that paid for your taxes. So it's always going to you're always going to have to pay taxes, whether you get billed for it later or you have to put it down at the start, like I did with Beachbody. And then you have to keep hitting certain numbers every month throughout the year, or you don't actually earn the trip and you get kicked off and you don't get that $300 refunded. So you spend taxes on a trip that you never received, which seems like fraud and seems like it should be illegal. The only time Beachbody returned it to us was in 2020 when the trip got canceled. So, 2020 happens, that trip got canceled. I signed up for like the next trip, and about halfway through the year, I had decided to move on and get a real job, forcing myself to hit Success Club. And I was still earning the trip. I still had enough Success Club points to do it, but I would have had to pay for part of it because I didn't earn it in full. And I just took the loss. I just took the loss on the $300. And I was like, I'm not DMing people anymore. I'm not trying to sell this anymore. So I lost it. And when you do earn the trips, it is very much an emotional manipulation tactic. It is like similar to what you see when other MLMs have conferences. The trips are another way to like get you to feel like you're part of something larger than yourself. You're part of this community, and you're like, it's a thing to show on your social media. I earned this trip for free. Can you believe it? It's so bougie. It's so fancy. And you have to pay taxes. You might have to pay for part of the trip. You have to pay for more than the +1 that's included. You have to pay for the transfer from the airport. You have to pay for your flights, which can be very expensive because they're usually in March or April, which is like spring break time. And they're in like the Caribbean and Mexico and stuff. So you're going at peak time to these places. You have to pay for gratuities. And sometimes there's just like a random fee that the hotel puts on. And so they give you resort credit to use for like massages and all sorts of things, but you have to pay gratuities on all those. Those are billed at the end, and it ends up costing a lot of money, and you're missing your regular job while you're there because your MLM is not paying you enough. It ends up costing a lot. And then there are other trips that are not the Success Club trip. Like she's just about to start. She says, we actually have our leadership event coming up next month. I also earned like a leadership event. I earned 2 of them. One was New Leader Conference, which I earned on my own merit. I still had to pay for my flights to LA. My hotel was covered. Only lunch was covered. So I had to pay for breakfast and dinner and any snacks that I wanted. And of course, my transportation from the airport to the hotel. I ended up having to pay for a hotel for an extra night because it was in February and there was a snowstorm in Chicago. So I had to spend like another night in LA because my flight got canceled. And yeah, so that happens. And then the other trip that I kind of earned was leadership, where I got to go as her +1. So that was for like elite coaches, but they could bring a +1 on their team as long as that person was a star diamond or above, which I was. So when she offered it to me, I was not in a good financial place, but I was like, well, I have to say yes to this. I have to go to this. Maybe this is going to manifest more people to join my team when they see me in Vegas with these people and having a great time and blah, blah, blah. And again, I think only one meal was covered like per day. I think it was just breakfast. And then we all went out to dinner together and they chose like a really expensive restaurant. And I was like, I don't know like how to do this. Like these trips end up piling up and they end up costing a lot more money. And I went into credit card debt in large part because of all the trips. And I felt like I couldn't say no to any of them. And this is another thing people will say when they are leaders in cults. They will say, well, nobody made you do anything. Like Beachbody doesn't make you. You don't have to go on these trips. You don't have to spend money on this. You don't have to. But you feel like you have to. The pressure is so great. And because most people are not succeeding and they've done all this personal development to brainwash themselves into thinking that it's something that's wrong with them and that if their coach can do it, then it's possible for them too. So if your upline tells you to do something, you feel like you're not going to be successful if you don't do it. And if you don't do things, that'll be weaponized against you. And they'll be like, well, that's why you're not succeeding in your business. So yeah, you don't have to do anything, but when you're in a cult, it's manipulation. Like you're manipulated into doing these things and you feel like you have to for your business to be successful. So that was a whole tangent, but I just wanted to give you like the real deal on this stuff because it is so insidious and so nuanced. So here we go.
Coming up next month, we moved it from LA for obvious reasons. We moved it from LA down here to San Diego. So it's going to be in my backyard in Coronado, which is like 30 minutes from here. Anyway, what I haven't shared so much.
I don't want to dox her. I showed Elise too, who's also in San Diego. San Diego's huge, okay? Coronado is amazing. There are tons of places in San Diego that are 30 miles away from Coronado, 30 minutes away from Coronado. So, you know, leave her alone.
The growth that has happened in such a minuscule amount of time. So I believe my start date was like October 28th. I had like 2 days left in the month. Really, my first month of business was November. So it's been November, December, and now all of January. So I've been an advocate, partnered with this company for 3 months, really to the day, right? In that small amount of time, I have seen so much monumental growth. And I'm not talking about growth just in my personal business. I'm talking about women who are joining the team and seeing.
So when you join an MLM, the most growth you're going to see is in those first 3 months because you're going to be signing up like your warm network, like the people that know you. You don't have to try to make connections outside of your network. You experience a lot of growth that way. She had a whole down. So even though she didn't have that power leg come over with her to Hugh and Grace because they all joined Make Wellness immediately the next day. At least she took like 28 days before she chose to join Hugh and Grace, but she's asking like a ton of her downline, everyone in her downline, anyone who's ever been in her downline, maybe even people who've quit. Not me for obvious reasons. I'm a little insulted. But yeah, you're asking everyone, and of course you're gonna like bump up through the ranks really quickly when you recruit your entire downline. Even when you recruit new people, they're bringing in their warm network. Other people on your team who did have downlines, they're bringing their downlines. So, okay, so you got to this same place you were in Beachbody in 3 months because you already had that set up. Still not the same place she was in Beachbody because she doesn't have Moira, but yeah, you got yourself to a not as good place financially as you were with Beachbody. It all just happened in 3 months because you had recruited those people and those people had recruited people over like 12 years that you were in Body. That is not impressive that you did that in 3 months because you already had it in place. You just yanked people over. So don't be deceptive, Meredith.
My personal business, I'm talking about women who are joining the team and seeing unparalleled growth quickly. And the reason why I say unparalleled growth quickly is because many of us had come from other, a lot of us came over from Body.
Exactly. So of course, it's not what you built in Body for however long you were in Body. If you just brought your people over, your downline, and I'm not talking about her, now I'm talking about the women she's talking about. If they were also in Body, they brought their people over. They brought their customers and their downline over. So of course, you're gonna see in 3 months what took you years to build up in Body. That's not unparalleled growth because of the company. Another thing too is that Hugh and Grace is new. I think it's been out since around March of last year, so we're coming up on a year. It was around sometime in the spring. I remember because there was drama because Kaylee Calabrese, Autumn's sister, left Beachbody for Hugh and Grace. And in my opinion, that's why Autumn came out with Belle Vitale. This is totally conjecture, but I think of Belle Vitale and Hugh and Grace as like the proxy wars between the Calabrese sisters. So Meredith has chosen her Calabrese sister, which is kind of amazing that she abandoned Autumn for Kaylee. But what do you lose your downline? Of course, you're going to go where you can have a downline because you have no other real world skills and you're used to making money off of other people's labor. So what are you going to do? But yeah, Hugh and Grace is not saturated like Beachbody is. Everybody knows what Beachbody is. Everybody's heard of P90X. Everybody's heard of Insanity. Some people don't even know that it's an MLM. Like some people that I talk to and I'm like, oh yeah, I've been like out of a commercial cult for 3 years. They were like, what? Like, or they'll be like, do you do Beachbody? I'm like, no, I got out of that pyramid scheme. And they were like, what? They didn't even know because Beachbody became famous enough that some people don't even know it was an MLM. They just have heard of P90X, you know. So Hugh and Grace is new. It hasn't even been around for a year yet, I believe. And so of course there's more room for growth there, but these women are experiencing unparalleled growth because they brought their customer base and their downline over that took them longer to build in the first place. Aren't you guys glad I'm here translating this for you so you know like what she's actually saying or the information that she's not telling you? Yeah, that's what I'm here for.
Interestingly, a lot of the people that have joined the team that have come over from Body, they were not on my Body team before. They were either people who followed me here or somehow we have connected since. Actually, one of the leaders on my team, Monica, me and her met this summer while I was traveling abroad. And she actually was partnered with Body as well. And so we met in Spain and we didn't even really get to connect because at that point we were on a retreat and there was quite a handful of women there. So I was getting familiar with all the different women, but we didn't get a chance to connect towards the end of the retreat. So it's been really fun. It's been really fun to have not only a new friend, but someone who is as excited to build a business, has a totally different mind than me, but an entrepreneurial mind all the same. She's like the yin to my yang or the yang to my yin, where I'm like...
Well, I want to point out that this is where the vultures come in. When you are in multi-level marketing, there are people who are on other downlines and maybe their direct sponsor is either like disengaged, not really working the business, kind of abandoned them, or they were put on like an inside dead leg, which gets into the weeds of binary compensation plans, but essentially you're not getting any volume coming from your upline, or just kind of abandoned in other ways, or maybe they just joined somebody and they like connect with you more and they wish they had joined you. And if your MLM goes affiliate, you have the opportunity then to try and snag those people for your team. So that's the translation of what's going on there. She bonded with this woman, and then when Beachbody went affiliate and she decided to go to Hugh and Grace, she reached out to people from other teams that she's bonded with over the years so that she could get them under her and benefit financially from their work. Another thing too is that these friendships, transactional. So she and Monica might be besties right now, but I was also once a leader on her team. And she hasn't talked to me in 3 years, 4 years, sometime in there, to call me to lecture me on how I shouldn't post anti-MLM content because it hurts her heart. So yeah.
Super creative, and she thinks more analytically. So it's like the perfect balance when you have.
Why do all these MLM huns think they're so creative? What have you created? You couldn't even create your own business. You are not entrepreneurially minded. You're an independent contractor. You're trying to earn money off of scamming other women. That's not creative. That's the oldest scam in the book. Come up with a new scam even, and then I'll think that you're creative.
Business associates and friends for that matter, that like complete who you are, right? They round out who you are so that you can collaborate and learn from one another. Anyway, it's been freaking fantastic working with her, working with you, Monica. If you're listening, I freaking love you. Anyway, getting back to this, there has been so many amazing women who have joined our team. I have absolutely loved building this new community. Learn at the same pace as everyone else. And this is why I share that, is I feel like in my old business, I was partnered for 11 years, and obviously I grew immensely as a human, as an entrepreneur, and all of that in that 11 years time. But once you're 11,
you are not an entrepreneur. You were an independent contractor with Beachbody, and now you're an independent contractor with Hugh and Grace. You're not the CEO. Hugh and Grace already has a CEO. And tomorrow, Hugh and Grace can decide to go affiliate and yank your downline from you, just like Beachbody did. I don't think they'll do it tomorrow, but I do think the MLM business structure is crumbling and more MLMs are going affiliate. So even though new ones pop up, the people that are joining them are just the refugees from a failed MLM. It's just getting so incestuous. It's gonna be like the same people until there are fewer and fewer MLMs, and then there's just like one left, and it's everybody's like 20th MLM. No, I think there will always be MLMs, there will always be scams. Like, they'll come and go, but I don't think Hugh and Grace is gonna last as long for her as Beachbody did, because people are already anti-MLM. People are already like, I'm not gonna use these products. Like, also, don't buy an MLM product for your hormone health. Like, that's all I have to say about Hugh and Grace when it comes to products. Like, I can say a lot of stuff about the stuff she's saying in her stories, but the company itself, go get a hormone panel done with your doctor and get a specialized treatment plan if you are having issues with your hormones, okay? Don't buy an MLM supplement. That is not the way. It's not the way.
Years in, and you have new advocates or partners or people come on board with you, I feel like I never tried to create separatism, but I think people create a separatism. Like, oh my gosh, you're supposed to know so much, I'm supposed to look up to you. And I've always been like, listen, I can learn from you as much as you can learn from me. But here it just feels a little bit more like collaborative, because we're all learning. We're all learning together. I feel like that brings a different level of collaboration.
She's happy to learn from you until you say something she doesn't like, and then you've hurt her heart. So, Meredith, I could teach you all about how predatory MLMs are. And by the way, that's been proven with data. And even in that TikTok that I made that you got so mad about it, I proved it with math, that in order to be in that top space, you have to have 60 times as many people in the bottom space. I proved it with math. It's not my opinion, it's math. Unless you think 2 + 2 = 5, I'm right. So maybe you should learn math.
And just, I don't know, newness and fun and support and community. I don't know how else to explain it, but it's exciting. It's exciting. It's fun. It feels aligned. I can't say enough good things about how I am feeling despite being heartbroken with what went down. And so I'm sharing this for a couple reasons. One, because I'm going to share with you, I'm going to shout out some amazing women that deserve.
One, to recruit you into her team, and two, to try to get you to stay there and rank up so she can make money off of you. Those are the two reasons she's sharing this with you. She's creating FOMO. She's giving this impression that this is the fresh opportunity. The growth is so fast. And we're all equals. There's no upline or downline. We're all equals. We're all building together. You're not building together. This is what she would do in Beachbody. We're an elite team again for the 5th year in a row. This is so amazing. And she'd call out all of her leaders that got her to elite. Who benefited from being an elite team? Only her. Only she got the quarterly 5-star bonuses. Only she got to go on the elite trip. Only she got to sit in the special elite seating. Only she got the elite swag bags. Only she got the paycheck. It doesn't matter how collaborative you think it feels, or you say we're all on even ground. You are the one benefiting and everyone else is losing.
To be shouted out, many who just literally enrolled in January and already are seeing huge wins in their business. Some who never did any business like this before. This is like, they're so green to this and they are excelling. But also because if you're where I was even a couple months ago,
Girls, if you've never been in an MLM and you joined this, get out now. Like, quit, stop. Do not pay attention to her love bombing you, her putting your face on a pretty looking slide in the team page or in her Instagram story. Make a profit and loss statement. Write down everything you're spending on this business and everything you're making. And let that make the decision for you. Because they've never been in an MLM and they fell for it. I'm so sorry. I fell for it too. By the way, I want to say, I said this on my manifestation video. I talked about her, Haley, being stupid. And I just want to say, if you have fallen for an MLM or manifestation or any of this stuff and you paid someone, life coaching, any of these scams, I am not calling you stupid. I fell for it too. So this is a space of love and support, and we're not judging people who've fallen for these things. When I say someone is saying something stupid, I'm saying the content of what they are saying is objectively false and can be proven by looking around. Just like MLMs can be proven to be failures by looking at income disclosure statements and just looking at the basic structure, and that there have to be people losing in order for very few people to win. It's a proven scam. So please, if you're watching this, those girls on Meredith's team who are green to this business, you don't have to take my word for it. Make a profit and loss statement, because Meredith will not tell you to do that.
Looking for your more, or looking for your next, or you're just in a seat having gone through something similar to me, maybe losing your job or losing some sense of community because of move or something, and you're just excited to get back to having that level of—
You didn't lose your job. You can still sell body products. You lost your downline. You lost the ability to make money off of other people's work. And you actually didn't lose your downline as friends. You can still hang out with them. You can still host retreats. You can still do everything that you did. You're just not making money off of their hard work and them losing money on buying these products every month. That's the clarification, okay? Let's just be real freaking crystal clear about that.
Of community and drive and passion and fun in your life while being partnered with a company that is completely in alignment from a hormone support space, from an optimal wellness space, from a non-toxicity space, from a gender neutral, family oriented company sort of space with great people, great products, something that you feel like you would thrive in and just love to be a part of. Please reach out. Please reach out. Our team right now, it's like we're young, we're growing.
Here's what I have to say. Like I said before, if you are having hormone issues, go to the doctor. Also, I know that she is targeting a lot of her stuff, her posts, towards a kind of perimenopausal group. There are perimenopausal and menopausal symptoms that are totally normal and natural. And I haven't been through that point in my life yet, but they are normal and natural things to happen, and there's nothing wrong with you if you are experiencing perimenopause. You are just getting older, like we all are, every second of every day. Third, all of these buzzwords that she's using, non-toxic, optimal wellness, none of that means anything. It's word salad. It's word salad. Here are my tips for optimal wellness. Get at least 7 hours of sleep a night. Eat vegetables, eat lean proteins, make sure you're getting some of those healthy fats in, eat fiber-rich carbs, whole grains, eat your fruit, pet a cat, that can lower your blood pressure. Try to move do moderate exercise 3 to 5 times a week. Try to walk. I even learned recently that the 10,000 steps a day was just a marketing tactic. You don't even have to get 10,000 steps a day. You know, those are my basic, what has worked from time immemorial till now. Like, there's nothing new under the sun. And if you are having a health issue, go see a medical professional. Last but not least, she talked about gender neutral. She's always talking about women. She's marketing herself to women. MLMs are like 90% women, and they prey on women. When it comes to saying gender neutral and saying, all the stuff about non-toxic, hormone balance, wellness stuff, like MLMs are incredibly right-wing. And the MLM to conspiracy theory pipeline is real. Like, people in MLMs begin to distrust doctors, distrust Western medicine, distrust big pharma and like prescription medications. It starts to go down a path where people are taking these products for anxiety, ADHD, depression, like all these mental health issues that they have, and then physical symptoms that really should be addressed by a doctor. It's very problematic. I have no problem with, if you are into naturopath, woo-woo stuff, I have a little bit of that in my life too. But don't throw out the entire Western medicine system, and don't for a second believe that this is truly gender neutral and that these companies are not propping up patriarchy and white supremacy, because they are. They're keeping women poor. The women who succeed are by and large white. It's a very problematic, I don't even have time to get into all of it, but the essence of, oh, you can just make it to the top if you work really hard, and who gives a shit about the people under you that are suffering? It's their own fault. That's inherently right-wing. And if you are a leftist or a liberal, it is impossible to be in one of these things and not experience extreme cognitive dissonance, which I did. And now that I'm out, I'm like, oh, I'm so glad I'm not contributing to that anymore. It's really bad.
Fast, but it is the best time to join if you want to learn with me and just full on collaborate and teach one another. I think the reason why this is bringing me so much excitement to share and talk about right now, especially, is because I think back to where I was in 2013.
So she's making it sound like you're going to be on the same level as her. You're not. You join her team, she's already doing way better than you. And she already is way ahead of you. She already has however many people in her downline that she brought over from Beachbody. Now she's trying to recruit you too, and making it sound like you're on the same level. She's already miles ahead of you. You're never going to catch up to her.
2014, when I opened up my first business, the women that were joining the team then, the women that came into my wheelhouse, my world, that I'd meet at events, we were running together. And so,
not open up a business. You were a 1099 independent contractor with Beachbody. Carl opened up a business, and the other guy, John Congdon or whatever, who was also the founder of Beachbody. Carl decided to take away the MLM aspect. Carl can close the business. It is 100% up to Carl. He is the majority shareholder because Beachbody went public in 2021, I think, something like that. So you do not own Hugh and Grace. The CEO of Hugh and Grace can decide to end the MLM portion at any point. They can decide to shut down operations at any point. You are not an entrepreneur. You are not a business owner. You do not choose the products. You do not source them. You do not choose the prices. You can't change your prices. You can't decide your compensation. Like, an actual business owner can decide if they want to pay themselves a salary, if they want to keep investing any profit that they make back into their business so they can pay themselves a larger salary later. They get to decide their compensation. They get to decide how they're going to price their products. Like, a kid with a lemonade stand is more of an entrepreneur than you are, Meredith.
So Jamie, who you'll meet because she's my upline here, she's been one of my best friends. If you saw my stories last week, you'll have learned about her. She's been one of my best friends for 10 years. I met her at the very beginning of my body journey. And so we were just eyes on the prize. Let's go. Let's elevate each other. Even though we weren't on the same team, we were let's build this thing together. Right. And we did. And every single year when we went to our annual events, we were walking on stage together. We were holding our hands. We were holding hands on stage when we earned million together, when we earned Million Club, which was when your cumulative earnings hit 7 figures. I think you see my point is like, I am so excited to recreate that essence of growth.
How many people in the history of body earned Million Club, and how many people have been in body over the years? I'd like to see that percentage. I bet the Million Club percentage is like less than 0.5% of everyone who was ever in Beachbody. Again, she's making it sound like you joining her team is going to be the same as she and her friend Jamie, who became friends at a Beachbody event, and they were on different teams, and they decided to be like accountability partners, success partners, as we liked to call it in body. But you're not. If you join her team, you are helping her. Your success is putting money directly into her pocket. Don't get it twisted. You are not the same.
And fun and community and empowerment with other powerful women who literally are like, I'm just starting, but I'm excited too. And I want to run with you. So if that's you, make sure you reach out so I can tell you more about this, because you want it. It's wonderful. It's literally the best thing ever. And I would love to do it with you. Also,
I don't want it. No, thank you. I say no, thank you to your scammy hormone health products and your money-losing business model. Just say no. You guys, we all had to take DARE. Just say no. Just say no to MLMs. They are bad. Bad news. And she keeps making it sound like you're going to run together. She used that language all the time in Beachbody. These 5 women ran with me. Like, I need 5 women to run with me. And then we did. And then she hit elite and she got all the benefits for it. And we got nothing. So don't fall for it. It's not the best thing ever. It's not.
I'm finally getting to the point where I get to celebrate these, gosh, how many are there? There's like 8 amazing women, maybe more than that. I didn't even count, who have scaled up their business.
Stop that, because then she's going to do the same thing that Erin Hopkins did on her story, where she's going to shout out these different women who have achieved whatever rank, like unicorn, sparkle diamond, whatever, executive director. Sometimes they give them like actual business names. It means nothing. It means nothing. We don't know how much they're making. We don't know like what they had to do to achieve that. We don't know how much they're spending. It's all deceptive. It doesn't mean anything. It's love bombing to try to keep them in. Okay, so now for the grand finale, we are going to look at Moira. And Moira is also very deceptive. She seems so kind and so sweet. And she is just a vulture. She's been mooching off of people for years. And her story with Beachbody, I think it's really important to acknowledge privilege, which people in MLMs act like don't exist. And it's February in Chicago, you guys. So if the light changes, the sun just came out, like it's been dreary all day, just roll with it, because I have got a big, huge window and like the light is gonna change. Anyway, so it's important to acknowledge privilege. It makes a huge difference in life, and it makes the hugest difference in MLM. So her story she would always tell, which now I look back on and I realize some holes in the story. So she talked about how she was a stay-at-home mom. That's the first example of privilege. If your husband can make enough for you to stay home with your kids, you are incredibly privileged. She had started a Pilates studio of her own previously. Either she never actually said whether like it went under or she just decided it was too much work, but that ended for some reason. She also started a cold press juice company, which also ended. Who knows why? Don't know if it went under. Don't know if she just decided it was too much work. But she would use those examples to try to recruit people into Beachbody, because she'd say like these 2 instances where she was an actual entrepreneur were a lot of work, and she had to deal with all these things and it was very difficult. And that's true, but you were an actual entrepreneur. Something that she never mentioned is how she got the startup money for those things, because both are brick and mortar businesses. You need to have a location. So you're either paying rent or you have a space that you've bought. You need to have Pilates teachers need to have equipment, like Pilates machines. And then like a cold pressed juice, like you have to source it. You have to have like the jars and the juices and shipping things. And the thing about MLM people is that if they had gotten into debt at any point, or if they had to borrow a ton of money and pay it back, that would absolutely be a part of their story, because they overshare, and anything that can make them sound more pathetic, they will include in their story. So this is all obviously my opinion and conjecture, but I think she had the startup money to start up those businesses, whether it was through the money her husband was making, family money, something. But if she had taken out a loan, or if she had ended up in debt as a result of either of those businesses, she would absolutely talk about it and talk about how Beachbody helped get her out of that. So I say all of that to emphasize how wealthy she was before she started Beachbody, because rich women are the ones who do well in MLMs. Rich women with rich networks do well in MLMs. And I remember her being so excited when Beachbody introduced like deluxe challenge packs and mega challenge packs, because her base would buy them. Like her customer list would buy them. Mine wouldn't. But that's just another example of the advantages that people have. Had some things that cost a lot of money before she ever joined Beachbody. So she had a lot of trappings of wealth, and she was wealthy. So let's look at this first reel that she has pinned to the top of her page. If you're not looking at the screen, with each camera click, it was like a picture of her at a Beachbody event, and the caption said, addict, alcoholic, college dropout. And then it says, turned CEO. You are not a CEO. You are not a CEO of Beachbody. You are not she's now in Make Wellness. She's now like at the top of, because Erin and everyone that was in her downline in Beachbody went with her to Make Wellness. So she's like at the top of the pyramid in Make Wellness immediately, like day one. You're not a CEO. Justin Prince is the CEO of Make Wellness. You were not the CEO of Beachbody. Carl Deichler was the CEO of Beachbody. Like, you are not a CEO. And this is another thing where everything that she talked about, like those 3 flashes where she said addict, alcoholic, college dropout, those were all years before she joined Beachbody. This is so deceptive. She is making you think that she was in this low point in her life, and then Beachbody came and she, rose from the ashes. If you just watched this reel and you didn't know anything else, she was a mom. Her kids were not even babies. Like, they were a little bit older by the time she joined. She had already been an actual CEO of 2 other businesses, and she was established. She was solid. Her husband was supporting them. She was very wealthy before she joined Beachbody. Let's not get it twisted. And the fact that she's using addict, alcoholic, college dropout to try to tell her story is so deceptive, because sure, that is a part of who she is. It has nothing to do with Beachbody. She had been sober like 11 years or something before she joined Beachbody. I remember being at a retreat and her and Amy talking about how many years they'd been sober. And I remember 11 years, I think, for Moira. But it was years before she had joined Beachbody. So Beachbody had nothing to do with her sobriety journey. Just the fact that she is using those as selling points to try to get people who struggle with those things that can be very deep-seated, intimate struggles, it makes me sick. It's disgusting. Honestly, it's disgusting. And there are a lot of college dropouts in MLMs, and I think there are very good reasons for dropping out of college if you want to pursue something else. But it's giving Donald Trump being like, I love the uneducated because I can prey on them. Like, it's giving that. With vision and retraining your mindset, you can do anything you dream possible. No, you can't. No, you can't. You did not do this with vision and retraining your mindset. You did this by getting your very rich friends to join your team and buy shit. You did this by scamming women into thinking that they could make as much money as you make one day. And maybe like one or two do. Maybe like Aaron and Hannah. But it's less than 1%. Let's see your downline statistics. Let's see your income disclosure statement for your team specifically. Let's see your profit and loss statement for each person on your team. See how many of them are making barely any money or losing money to support your lavish lifestyle. I will tell you how out of touch she is. One time she was speaking to us at like a retreat and with like her corporate sponsor. And she talked about how she'd been kind of at the top for a while and she had lost like a little bit of her motivation. But then she's walking on the beach and she saw this beach house that she had always wanted. And that gave her the motivation to start finding a new spark in her business and recruiting again. And most of us in the room were renters. Like, I needed to get my beach house. You don't need a freaking beach house. I think we should apply elementary school rules to real estate. Nobody gets two until everybody's had one. But I'm a socialist, so that's what I believe. But it is not vision and mindset, retraining your mindset. That is crap. It's wrong. It's false. You were rich, you're privileged, and you scammed people. Jeez. Gosh. I get mad. I get mad at these women. Okay, this one is short, but let's just talk about it. She has a podcast. Do you guys want me to do an episode of her podcast? It's like the most basic name. It's like the High Vibe Podcast. Again, these women think they're creative. You couldn't think of anything better than that. I swear to Lucifer.
If you're trying to hit a financial goal and you're putting yourself in the red, that's a problem, right? How to manifest.
That's right. Actually, don't put yourself in the red. Don't join an MLM. Don't join Make Wellness.
The 100K month version of yourself without going broke.
High Vibe Life Podcast. Okay. How to manifest the 100K a month version of yourself? First of all, she didn't manifest that. She had a husband supporting her, and she recruited a bunch of people into a scam. And then secondly, again, I'm a socialist, so why does anyone need to make 100K a month? Again, let's apply elementary school rules. No one makes 100K a month until minimum wage is at $30 an hour, which is literally where it needs to be to actually like make sense with inflation and cost of living and stuff. I heard that the other day. You can fact check me if you want, but to make it consistent with what it actually costs or what people could live off the minimum wage like 30 years ago or something, it needs to be like $30 an hour. No one makes 100K months until everyone makes 100K a year, okay? And that seems reasonable. Like, why do you need that much money? What are you saving up for? Hell? You want to be like the only person on like a mountain of skulls? That's what you're doing. And she thinks she's a Christian. I swear, all these like prosperity gospel Christians, I'm like, did you read the Bible? I am sassy today. I am very sassy. Okay, now let's look at this one. She's showing her Make Wellness products. So these are, if you're not looking at the screen, if you're just listening, it's flashing up testimonials from different people in her Make Wellness brand. And let's go over them point by point and talk about how terrible they are. Okay? I am down 5 pounds in 1 week on Fit, Lean, and Hydrated. Those are 3 Make Wellness supplements. Feeling so good, and my appetite has been cut in half. No cravings at all. First of all, 1 week means nothing. I can lose 5 pounds in a week if I had my period. If I had like a salty day and I bloated and then I just, drank a lot of water. Like, you can lose 5 pounds in a week. First of all, that's not a healthy rate of weight loss. You should be, if you're actually trying to lose fat, max 2 pounds a week. But 1 is better. And that's just like standard knowledge. I'm not a personal trainer. I'm not a nutritionist, but 5 pounds in a week, something's going on there. It's water weight. It doesn't, and then no cravings. often that first week, you're so excited, you don't want that stuff. So you don't have the cravings. They don't really hit until you start to get like tired of the new thing that you're doing. You don't need these 3 Make Wellness supplements. Like, how much is she spending on this? If you want to lose weight in a healthy, sustainable way, eat your vegetables, count your calories. Like, literally, yeah. Losing weight has been challenging, but I dropped 6 pounds in my first week. Sweet cravings are gone. Again, 6 pounds in a week is not a healthy rate of weight loss. And that's just bloat. You're not losing 6 pounds of fat in a week, and you shouldn't be trying to. This is ED behavior. She's promoting self-harm, and she's acting like she's this self-help lady. You're promoting self-harm, Moira. This is bad. Okay. 2 weeks on Lean, Fit, and Hydrate, down 3 pounds, body fat percentage down 1.4%, maintained all of my muscle mass. Okay, so first of all, down 3 pounds is fine in 2 weeks. She said 2 weeks. That's a much better rate of weight loss. Body fat percentages, if you have one of those scales that like supposedly tell you your body fat percentage, they're very unreliable because they're like sending like electro waves up through your feet, and apparently it doesn't go. It's just your legs essentially. It doesn't like go all the way up. Really, the only effective, accurate way to get your body fat percentage is to like go to a doctor facility that has like one of those things there where they dunk you in the water and stuff, and most people don't have access to that. I doubt she had access to that. She probably just has one of those scales because they also try to tell you your muscle percentage too, and they're just really unreliable. So these products did not do that. You can have those 1.4% fluctuations on those scales, and this is not accurate data. And then she said 10 days on Lean, down 5 pounds. Everything I said about the others applies to that one too. But the point of this is that she's promoting really unhealthy ideas about the speed of weight loss. And also, it's really inaccurate. She's actually not losing fat. Even the girl who thinks she lost fat probably didn't, or if she did, it's not because of these products. It's a placebo effect. Sometimes you take a product. The first time I had Shakeology, I went to work and I was like, I am so full of energy and I feel so good. Oh my gosh, this superfood shake is making me so vibrant. It was like the first, I went off of it. I left Beachbody in 2021. I went off of Shakeology in 2022. I was so afraid to go off of it. The brainwashing is insane. And I feel great. I feel so much better than when I was on Shakeology. My bank account is better. Yeah, so that's Moira. I'm gonna end it because I've been yapping for a while. But if you've made it this far, please subscribe. I am at the point where I am allowed to have channel memberships, but I'm not like monetized for AdSense. And honestly, I would much rather you be able to support me for free. So I'd rather just get the subscribers. I already have the view time. So if you're watching me every time I post but you haven't subscribed yet, please hit the subscribe button. I would love to have people be able to support me without spending money. I feel like the channel membership should come after, because then you have a large enough audience to kind of be able to offer extras. That's just my opinion, but I am not the CEO of YouTube. I am not a business owner. I'm not an entrepreneur. I'm a girl who likes to yap about scams that I've fallen for and warn you from being in those scams as well. Hi, Dovey. Oh, big stretch. Aww. Yes, she's as soft as she looks. You're so pretty, girl. Yeah. That is all I have for you today. Next video is going to be some religious manipulation throwdown. So if you cannot stand religious manipulation and MLMs, tune in for my next video. You will love it. This is it for me today. And if you have ideas, please post them in the comments. Fill out the Google form that I have. Kiss your pets on their soft little heads for me, and have a great day. Bye.